For more than 2 decades, one question has followed Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet everywhere they go. Not about their movies. Not about awards. But about why two people with such obvious chemistry were never actually a couple. From the moment Titanic became a global phenomenon, audiences were convinced they were witnessing something more than acting. Their connection felt natural, emotional, and unusually sincere. And as the years passed, that belief never really faded. If anything, it only grew stronger. So why did it never happen? Why did Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet, two of the most iconic co-stars in film history, never cross that line? The answer is far more interesting than most people realize. When Titanic was released in 1997, neither Leonardo nor Kate was prepared for what followed. The film didn't just become successful, it became a cultural moment. Almost overnight, they were no longer just actors. They were symbols. Faces of a love story that millions of people felt personally connected to. And that was the first reason their relationship never turned romantic. They didn't meet each other as private individuals. They met inside a massive global spotlight. From the very beginning, their bond was formed under pressure. Endless interviews. Constant speculation. Headlines pushing a narrative that they were destined to be together. That kind of attention doesn't create romance, it suffocates it. Both Leonardo and Kate have spoken over the years about how overwhelming that period was. Fame arrived suddenly and aggressively. Every move they made was watched, interpreted, and exaggerated, instead of allowing space for curiosity or attraction to grow naturally. The world decided their story for them. And neither of them wanted that. What often gets overlooked is that Leonardo and Kate became close not because of romance, but because of survival. They leaned on each other during one of the most intense moments of their lives. They understood what the other was going through in a way almost no one else could. That kind of bond is powerful, but it's not the same as romantic tension. In fact, it often replaces it. Kate Winslet once described Leonardo as one of the few people who truly knew her during that time. Not the public version. Not the character. But the real person behind it all. And that kind of closeness can actually make romance feel unnecessary. Even risky. There's also something else that played a major role. Timing. At no point in their early careers were they actually in the same emotional place. When Titanic was released, Kate was entering serious relationships and thinking about stability. Leonardo, on the other hand, was just beginning a long phase of protecting his privacy at all costs. Their lives were moving in different directions. Even if their public image suggested otherwise. And that difference only became more pronounced over time. Leonardo DiCaprio has always been extremely guarded about his personal life. From the early 2000s onward, he made a clear decision to separate his work from his private relationships. He rarely discusses them publicly, avoids turning them into part of his public narrative, and keeps tight control over what the world sees. Kate Winslet, by contrast, has always been more open, reflective, and emotionally transparent in interviews. She speaks freely about love, family, and personal growth. That difference matters. A romantic relationship between them would have instantly become a spectacle. Not just two actors dating, but Jack and Rose finally together. And that wasn't something either of them wanted to live inside. Instead, they chose something much rarer in Hollywood, a long-term, genuine friendship. Over the years, their bond only deepened. They supported each other through career highs and lows, personal changes, marriages, divorces, and parenthood. They celebrated each other's successes without jealousy or competition. One of the most telling moments came years later, when Kate Winslet publicly praised Leonardo DiCaprio during an awards ceremony. Her words weren't flirtatious or performative. They were deeply affectionate, almost familial. She spoke about loyalty, trust, and shared history, not attraction. And Leonardo's reaction said everything. There was no awkwardness. No deflection. Just visible appreciation and comfort. The kind that only exists between people who feel safe with one another. That safety is another key reason they never dated. Romantic relationships come with expectations, risks, and the possibility of loss. A friendship like theirs offered something far more stable. It was a space where neither had to perform, impress, or live up to a fantasy. They could simply be themselves. Interestingly, both Leonardo and Kate have subtly addressed the dating rumors over the years, usually by gently dismissing them. Not with denial or defensiveness, but with calm clarity. As if the idea never really matched their reality. And that tells us a lot. Sometimes, the strongest connections are the ones that don't become romantic. Not because they couldn't, but because turning them into romance would actually diminish what makes them special. Hollywood often teaches us that chemistry must lead to a relationship. That if two people connect deeply, romance is the inevitable next step. Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet are proof that this isn't always true. Their story challenges the idea that love has only one form. What they built was something quieter, longer lasting, and arguably more meaningful than most celebrity relationships. A bond rooted in trust rather than desire. In history rather than hype. And that may be the real Reason it never happened, not because they lacked feelings, but because they valued what they already had to. Much to risk changing it. In a world obsessed with turning every connection into a headline, Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet chose something far less visible, but far more enduring, and that choice may be exactly why people are still talking about them today.